The entire world is in shock after seeing ChatGPT 4o's latest image generating feature. People have picked iconic Bollywood moments and converted them into a Studio Ghibli aesthetic. Marketing designers have uploaded their product images and created Google ads with perfect text. Graphic designers are making comic strips with themselves as main characters. Even toy miniatures of popular celebrities like Tim Cook, Satya Nadella, and Elon Musk are floating across the internet. But how do you even use this? What will happen to existing tools like Photoshop or Canva? And with so many changes happening, how should a creative professional or even a student pursuing design plan her career? This is Ansh Mehra and you are attending a class at the Cutting Edge School. This entire lecture is split into 3 chapters. In chapter 1, I'll teach you how this feature works in ChatGPT and best examples shown by OpenAI on their official blog. I will explain 5 important features: character consistency, text rendering, upload and restyle, detailed directions, and transparent layers. I will also explain how 4o is better than its competitors like Midjourney and Ideogram by explaining you their very specific features like instruction following and in-context learning. In chapter 2, I will address all the limitations of this model like cropping and hallucinations. And in chapter 3, I will address the impact of such technology on creative jobs and how you can prepare for a secure, well-paying career. Alright, so I am here on chatgpt.com and it is recommended for you to get the Pro plan. You can access the same on your mobile phone as well. The free plan has some limitations, but you can still try it out. In the Pro plan, you need to make sure that you have switched to ChatGPT 4o. Now, the most common effect right now is the Studio Ghibli effect. So I'll click on this icon and upload from my computer. You can do the same on your phone as well. And I will say, generate a new image of this uploaded selfie in a Studio Ghibli style. By the way, there's a bunch of other styles that you can also try out. The popular ones are Pixar, manga, vintage sketch. In fact, we've been working on a reel for my Instagram where we're trying to make a storyboard using similar filters. So the way it generates the image is that it would give you like a blurred layout and it takes a lot of time, around 1 or 2 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it'll improve pretty fast. Alright, so the image is finally done and check this out. You can also describe what you want to add, remove or replace. But before I go ahead, right, in the rest of the video, whatever examples I show you, it's basically people just putting information and then just adding prompts. Like I would recommend you to try these things out because let's just say I want to have put this person in a fancy bar with text on top that says AI makes life beautiful and easy. So now what I've done is that I have created an avatar and then I have added more context. I've actually requested 4o to put this person in a separate context. Like imagine this used to take so much time for a graphic designer to think and conceptualize, and at one point all of these JPEGs will become editable PSD files. And look at the perfection with which it is creating these things, right? If you go to my Instagram right now, you would realize that in the past 2-3 days, all of my stories have been created using this only. It's insane. And you know, the crazy part is that like you can actually take this image and make it into a video using VO. VO is currently available in free pick. Let me know in the comment section if you need a tutorial on that. We've already made a tutorial on Luma and Runway Labs and all of those, all of the popular tools, but absolutely insane. And this is how it works, right? So now you no longer need me to explain you the execution because this is literally how simple it is. So let's understand all of the possibilities behind this. Now there are 4 cool features you need to know about. But before, there are some important reminders that you need to know. Number 1, this is the latest version that AI will ever be. You are seeing version 1 of this model today. This will become way better by December 2025. Next, smart people use AI for their first draft and then build on top of what AI gives them. Most people who are in their beginner phase usually think that they can use AI for their final draft and submit it as it is. Third, you will be limited by your vocabulary. Prompting is not about fancy words, but more about the skill of setting context and constraints and setting examples. Fourth, this 4o model is the underlying intelligence which will further be included in every other tool that we are currently using on a daily basis. Most people think that this will replace traditional tools, but in most cases, traditional tools will partner with companies like OpenAI to make their 4o models a part of their tools. Fifth, These tools will help an educated and experienced professional way more than someone who has never studied their subject. With that, let's move to chapter number 1. So first we have character consistency, which helps you create consistent characters in every new image. Let's assume you prompt for a low poly penguin. Now this penguin is your main character, and as a prompter, you can now request 4o to make the same penguin as a painting. So 4o will keep the context of the character and make all the changes as you requested. And you can do this for multiple styles without any limitations. Now this is extremely useful for brands that want to create comics, brand mascots, or even storyboard a short video with multiple scenes. Second cool feature is text rendering, which means that your images can now have detailed text and information, which was always a big issue before. Ideogram and Midjourney mess up a lot when it comes to longer sentences and complex words. But OpenAI has shown an example where they prompted an image taken with a phone of a glass whiteboard in a room overlooking the Bay Bridge, and that had a lot of specific text written, and it was absolutely perfect. In another example, they asked to generate a magnetic poetry on a fridge in a mid-century home. So as you can see, the letters are absolutely perfect. 4o was able to generate street signs, restaurant menus, and even invitations with just a single prompt, which means making comic strips or even complicated infographics will become really simple. For those who make content, 4o will soon make Instagram carousels or reel covers. I'm already doing this for my Instagram stories and reel covers, so you can go to my Instagram. I actually see this in action. Teachers and coaches will soon be able to design slides and explainer posters for their classrooms. Small businesses and local stores would be able to upload their product image and generate posters, flyers, table menus, shop signs, whatever they can imagine. Designers and agencies will not need to open Photoshop or Canva for basic edits and just prompt ChatGPT using their phone. Third feature is upload and restyle, where you can upload a rough sketch and prompt to create a real comic strip. One of our subscribers emailed me his sketch and he showed me how 4o converted a very rough sketch into a hyper-realistic render. In fact, you can upload a new character and ask it to include this character into your comic, which is extremely cool. Fourth feature is detailed directions, where you can specify the tiniest of details and shapes, and 4o will cater to almost every little detail one by one. Fifth feature is transparent layers, where you can create stickers and badges and all kinds of PNG images very easily. This is very helpful for illustrators who sell digital assets, stickers, or logos. Now, certain things really stand out in 4o that are currently not easily achievable in Midjourney or Ideogram. First strength is multi-turn generation, which means you can edit a single image and keep building layers on top of it as if you're instructing a graphic designer using chat. For example, here, they first prompt to make a cat with a detective hat. Then they turn it into a AAA video game character. Then they asked it to update it to a landscape image, which is like in a 16:9 ratio with more game UI elements, and you can obviously see how crazy the result has been. In another example, they first generated a poem on a luxury eggshell textured card. Then they asked to show this card but in a designer's room. Basically, if you're designing anything, your object's appearance remains coherent across multiple chats as you keep on refining and as you keep on experimenting with your ideas. Second strength is instruction following or coherence. 4o can follow very detailed prompts with extreme attention to detail. Other competitors struggle beyond 5 objects, but 4o can handle up to 10 to 20 different objects. Third strength is in-context learning, which means 4o can analyze multiple images and blend them together seamlessly. Here they uploaded 6 different images and asked 4o to combine them. Then by using character consistency, it converted the sketch into an actual photo. Now all of these things are signaling towards a new kind of a graphic design niche, a new category of marketing, which is currently being termed as vibe marketing. Now if you've been following us, you already know that we've made some video on vibe coding, where a professional developer can actually sit and quickly come up with prototypes and first drafts using a tool like either Lovable, Bolt, or Replit. The similar pattern is now getting extended to vibe marketing, where a team of graphic designers and a good experience manager can sit together and quickly prototype ideas that earlier used to take a lot of effort and time. The crazy part is that I actually went to Mobin and I collected some user interface screenshots. I uploaded a screenshot which was from a health app, and I asked 4o to analyze the UI and recreate another UI but for a finance app, and it did a pretty decent job. Not perfect, obviously, but it was still very interesting. In another example, I took a screenshot of a landing page and I said use the same color scheme but make another asset for a healthy protein shake, and then I said make it 16:9, and it did again a very good job. The crazy part is that you can take a JPEG from all of these exports from ChatGPT and use Figma plugins to convert JPEGs into editable Figma files. Right now all of these things are very rough, but I can guarantee you that in the next 2 years the entire journey of a screenshot from a platform like Mobin to then ChatGPT to another UI, then forwarded into like a editable Figma file is not very far away. Fourth strength of 4o is world knowledge. Now this is the first time an image generator has information in its own mind. So if I ask 4o to make a visual infographic describing why San Francisco is so foggy, I don't have to paste any data or context. It will use its LLM models to add all of the data. So you can make cocktail recipe posters, instruction panels, guides, anything, because this image creator is actually very smart. But not everything is as perfect as it looks, and OpenAI has been very transparent about it. So let me explain 7 limitations in the current 4o model. So let's move on to chapter number 3. So our first limitation is cropping. So 4o can occasionally crop like long tall images if you're making Instagram stories or posters, especially near the bottom. Therefore, when you're making such images, it's always best to mention the exact ratio, like 16:9 for a landscape image or 9:16 for a portrait image. Second is hallucination. Sometimes ChatGPT 4o can imagine things that are not really real or practical, especially if the prompt is very vague. And if you repeat the same word multiple times, the amount of errors you get will only increase. This means that it might add some random details here and there or create something completely unexpected. Third is high binding problems. Now let me explain this. 4o can handle a lot of details, but if you ask it to create something very complicated that has a lot of moving parts, for example an entire periodic table, it might start making mistakes or miss some details, but I'm pretty sure they will improve this with time. Fourth is precise graphing. Now ChatGPT 4o is currently struggling with precise graphs and charts. When I say precise, I literally mean mathematically precise. So if you ask for a detailed data heavy visual or a pie chart, the results might be inaccurate or unclear. Fifth is multilingual text rendering. The model sometimes struggles with rendering non-Latin languages, which means that if you try to make something in Hindi, it might show an error and the characters can be inaccurate or hallucinated. Sixth limitation is editing precision. Fixing one part, like a small issue, might accidentally change other details as well, even if you've selected a specific part. Seventh is dense information in small text. So the current model that they have launched is struggling with tiny text and very detailed information in small areas of your image. Now, it's important to address the impact of these changes as well. I've already spoken about my thoughts on Instagram, but let me revise. I'd like to remind every single creative person or developer watching this that instead of panicking or rejecting obvious revolutions, please understand that after years of us trying our hands out on softwares, we are finally witnessing the birth of something extremely powerful. Nature has a habit of consistently pushing living beings to evolve because it always has a bigger plan. This time, the time for this evolving is lesser than usual, which means that professionals need to get over their egos and get back to being a student, where they spend time every single day learning the latest AI tools and helping their teams evolve and learn as well. So I'll tell you what I am doing in my company right now to make sure that our team also stays relevant. Number one, we are motivating everyone to focus a lot on their mental health, physical health, and overall energy. This is to ensure that they have enough clarity of thought and energy to learn things fast and grasp things more effectively. Number two, we are no longer limiting ourselves to one niche skill. The entire concept of T-shaped generalist is going to become very common. Designers, PMs, and developers all will start coming under one umbrella. Visual storyboarding artists, editors, and motion designers will again start come under one umbrella. The talent stack is collapsing, and the world will reward people who are fast learners and strong pattern finders. Number three, I am teaching everyone how to manage their time and become better managers, because tools like NA10 and Make and OpenAI's Operator will first create agents, Then after a quarter, we will have another layer on top of these AI agents like Relevance AI, where people like us who are AI operators will build AI managers who will further manage more agents. And I know it sounds very impractical, but I can totally see it happening. Everyone reading this must understand the basics of prompting AI agents and just understanding what AI can and cannot do as well. Number 4, reminding people to be open-minded and write their learnings on a daily basis. And I've spoken about this a million times, so I will not repeat it. But my last YouTube text post on Lovable, which is a no-code tool, triggered a lot of developers saying that, Lovable is just a basic front-end thing. You don't know about development, Ansh. I'd like to remind you that this is the latest worst AI will ever be. Even by education, I am a computer science engineer. So I know the effort it usually used to take to build projects. I myself have built actual projects with other team members. I used to be a designer and I used to see them code, and I used to see the amount of effort and bandwidth it used to take to make even basic things just 3-4 years ago. And I have worked on projects for both web and mobile platforms from 2017 to 2020. And this includes work at Hack MIT, Hack Harvard, and even the Microsoft Imagine Cup. So I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how many years of experience you have in your field. Everyone is starting from level 0 here. The question is, would you like to have 3 years of experience in your new evolved niche in 2028, or do you want to wake up late? And I will not repeat the CTAs again in this video because I've already mentioned every little detail 1,000 times on our free AI courses on the Cutting Edge School. Another skill that I'm thinking about these days is accurate judgment. After you have processed patterns, after you have developed good taste, you still need to interpret and judge what those patterns are saying. And I actually know some people now who are great pattern finders. Their taste is also very good, their communication is also very good, but their judgment and interpretation is very, very weak. It usually throws them in a different direction. And it's a very interesting subject, to be honest, on how you can have better judgment. And I think it takes a lot of time and experience and reading and talking to people. It will no longer make sense to invest lakhs or even crores in long-term courses focused on just learning tools and softwares. A lot of education will now revolve around escaping the bubble, learning the skill of making friends, how to manage stress, how to tackle deadlines, how to be in a society filled with diverse people. So it'll more be like a training of the real world rather than teaching you a skill which is very useful. And I think right now also a lot of these things are happening. 1,000 years ago, nature practiced natural selection in humans with new kinds of diseases and predators to filter out humans who do not know how to coordinate or evolve and learn. Humans eventually cracked coordination, language, they cracked medicine, architecture, and electricity. So nature's old way of filtering weaker species got outdated because humans leveled up. Like, humans actually understood that these are all traps, and then nature said, let me give them internet, sugar, comfort, fast food, let's see who fails now, right? So nature made all of those things very tempting. So humans without any willpower and discipline started getting health issues because they got too attracted to like fast stuff, cheap dopamine, all kinds of junk food, sugar. And because of this, health issues, mental issues rose up, and a lot of people started losing grip on their quality lives. Now that we are getting more aware about these things, now nature has raised up the stakes. And with these new tactics, introducing AI and sort of pushing us to evolve, pushing us to learn and not get too comfortable, nature is again checking who will evolve further. And who will help her take things to the next level. We will have this Gen AI thing for text first, and it'll become very, very good for text in the beginning. Then it'll slowly shift to audio. Then it will move towards images. We've already seen stage 1 of that happening right now. Then it will move to videos, then motion graphics, then text. And then all of this intelligence will be combined with actual machines that make clothes and food and packaging and houses and posters, and all of this will be connected with the Internet of Things, which is very similar to what Alexa and all of these Siri pods are doing. Eventually, it will be included in robots as well, like the ones Boston Dynamic is working on, or even the Figure one, or the Tesla robot. So you will eventually have people in your house, not people, but basically cyborgs, who will have access to all of this intelligence. I'm still very unclear about what will happen in general, because I think at this point, the only thing that you can do is learn and evolve and take care of yourself. But I know for a fact that there will be a huge uprise of 8 to 10 employee sized companies who will start serving clients globally. And very, very soon, almost every professional will have to change the way they think about how they get paid, because you will not get paid for your time or your hardworking execution. You will be paid for the results you bring and the profits you generate for the client. So please share this video with your friends, family members, and talk about it on LinkedIn, because how else will people wake up and even learn these things? The fundamental rule here is that anything easy is going to be replicable very, very fast. Your job is to learn how to do hard things. The ability to learn and do hard things is going to be a strong and a very thick moat. Remember, if you can watch my videos and learn something in 1 month, anyone can learn it in 1 month. There is no competitive advantage in that. So yes, make sure you write your detailed feedback in the comment section below. It takes us a lot of money and time to, produce these videos. And without your support, it's very, very tough to sustain the channel moving forward. If you make notes of this video and share them on Instagram or LinkedIn, then do not forget to tag me on Ansh Mehra. I hope that you're taking care of your mind and body. This is your dost Ansh Mehra, and you are learning at the Cutting Edge School.